What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today I want to talk about Tim Thomas hinting at taking a year off of hockey entirely. Obviously, 38 years old. He's no spring chicken, and coming off a pretty solid year. Had a stretch there where it wasn't that great, but typical Tim Thomas, awesome year. One of the top 5 goalies in the league, and the year before that had one of the greatest seasons ever. Having won the Vezina pretty much outright, and then the way he won the Stanley Cup with the Bruins was right at storybook ending. But it's not been it hasn't not been done before. Dominic Hasek took a year off when he was 38, then played 4 more years in the show. So I guess that's something. Obviously, there are guys that have been compared to each other, both late round picks that turned out to be great, and the style really unorthodox and unbeatable. But going back to Thomas, if he wants to take a year off, I guess more power to him. The Bruins are in good shape with Tuukka, but obviously they're looking to trade him, Thomas, because you can get something back for him. Maybe a certain right winger in Chicago that goes by the name of Kaner. But that was a hypothetical trade I talked about. But this has been a trying year for Tim Thomas. Between the White House incident and the questions with that, and then the playoff loss was tough. But great goaltender and great human being. He's kind of. I'm not totally sure what the situation is if he takes next year off, if he's still under contract for the year after, or if it's like a sabbatical. Plus, with the uncertainty on the labor agreement, we don't know that for sure. But I hope, like I said, I hope he comes back. I hope the Bruins, if they do trade him, get something back for him. He goes to a team where he can compete, and the Bruins get fair market value back where they can compete. And they both sides work out. But it is what it is with him. You don't be a goalie by being normal. You got to be a little off center to have people shoot pucks at you nonstop and play the loneliest position in sports. But hey, Timmy, do what you got to do, dude. I support you full heartedly. I think you're a good guy. You speak from the heart, and your journey's inspirational. And if you want to take a year off and come back and play another 4 years like Hasek did, or right off into the sunset, you've accomplished so much more than than anyone thought you would. 7 years ago you were unheard of. Now you're 2-time Vezina winner, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup. Pretty solid resume. And the next question is, if he does hang him up, is he a Hall of Famer? And the easy answer is no. But 2 Vezinas, Stanley Cup, a Conn Smythe, one of the most dominating goalies in hockey for 3 years. That kind of maybe gets him a look. But we'll talk about that later on when he decides what he's doing with his future. But that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ on Tim Thomas possibly taking a year off. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the finals and beyond. Later, guys.